Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving deep into one of the oldest gardening tricks in the book, wood ash. For centuries, gardeners have swore by it as a natural, all-purpose soil amendment. It's easy to understand why. Ash is full of nutrients, especially potassium, calcium, and trace minerals that plants need to thrive. But here's the catch. It's also a very powerful, very basic substance. And if you're not careful, you could end up doing more harm than good. Wood ash is not a universal solution. It's a precision tool, and like any strong tool, it demands respect and careful handling. Misuse isn't just ineffective, it can disrupt your soil chemistry for years, create nutrient imbalances, and actually reduce your yields. So let's start at the very beginning. Chemistry. Wood ash is pure alkali. That means it's highly basic. Most gardeners intuitively understand that plants have preferences for soil pH, but many underestimate just how sensitive certain crops are. If you rely on wood ash as a blanket soil amendment, you're risking damage to any plant that prefers acidic soil. And in most home gardens, a surprising number of plants fall into that category. Think about your staple crops: tomatoes, strawberries, raspberries, peppers, radishes, parsley. These are the foundation of almost every vegetable garden, and they all thrive in slightly acidic soil, generally a pH between 5.5 and 6.8. Bombarding them with alkaline wood ash is basically working against them. It interferes with nutrient uptake, especially iron, manganese, and phosphorus, which become less available in basic conditions. Over time, you can create nutrient deficiencies that look a lot like disease: yellowing leaves, poor flowering, small fruits, and slow growth. Simply put, too much ash at the wrong time is like putting the brakes on your garden's growth. So, how do you use it safely? Timing and moderation are everything. For acid-loving crops, you should limit ash application to no more than twice per season, ideally during critical growth stages like flowering and fruit or pod set. These are moments when your plants are using the most nutrients and can actually benefit from the trace minerals in ash, without being overwhelmed by its alkalinity. For leafy greens like lettuce, spinach, or chard, avoid using ash entirely as a growth stimulant. They are highly sensitive to pH changes, and excessive alkalinity will stunt their development rather than enhance it. But there is one scenario where wood ash is genuinely essential: correcting overly acidic soil. If your soil tests show dangerously low pH below 5, then ash can be a powerful corrective tool. In this case, you should work the ash into the soil gradually over time, testing frequently until your pH reaches the neutral or slightly acidic range preferred by your crops. And let me stress this point: guesswork is your enemy. Don't just sprinkle ash because it worked last year. Use inexpensive pH test strips, or even a digital soil meter, to know exactly what your soil needs before you add anything. A few dollars spent on testing can save months, if not years, of trial and error. Now, let's talk about application methods, because this is where most gardeners go wrong. How you introduce ash into your soil makes all the difference. If you mix it deep into your soil months before planting, during fall or early spring soil turning, you give the alkali time to integrate safely. This gradual incorporation allows it to neutralize naturally acidic pockets without shocking your plants. On the other hand, sprinkling raw ash over the surface of soil with already established plants is risky. Roots near the surface can be burned by high concentrations of alkali, leading to immediate plant stress or even death. If you need to feed active plants, the safest method is creating a diluted ash extract, sometimes called ash tea. This reduces alkalinity and allows nutrients to be delivered more gently. Here's a reliable, safe recipe for making an ash fertilizer extract. Take about half a liter, roughly 2 cups, of pure wood ash, put it in a sturdy container, and pour 2 liters of boiling water over it. Seal the container tightly and let it steep for a full 24 hours. After steeping, strain the mixture and dilute it with water until you reach 10 liters of liquid. This diluted solution can be carefully applied directly to the root zones of established plants without risking root burn. It's a controlled way to reap the benefits of ash without the drawbacks. Beyond fertilization, wood ash has some uses as a pest deterrent. Lightly dusted on soil or plant leaves, it can deter soft-bodied insects like slugs or aphids. But this method carries its own risk. Leaf scorch. Ash is highly caustic, and even a small over-application can damage leaves, especially in hot sun or during dry conditions. If you're going to try this, apply very lightly, sparingly, and preferably during cool, damp conditions to minimize risk. Here's the bottom line. I respect the history and ingenuity behind folk gardening remedies. Ash has been used for centuries for good reason, but in modern gardens, with so many inexpensive, safe, and effective fertilizers and pest controls available, I personally lean toward precision tools. Commercial fertilizers provide balanced nutrients in predictable doses, and pest controls target specific threats without the guesswork. And these tools are cheap, often under $1 per application. Precision is far more cost-effective than trial and error, and it prevents the frustration of watching years of effort go to waste. So, to recap the key takeaways. Wood ash is highly alkaline. Don't use it blindly. Acid-loving crops like tomatoes, peppers, berries, and leafy greens are vulnerable. Limit or avoid ash. Apply no more than twice per season for fruiting plants, and never for leafy greens. Correct excessively acidic soils gradually, based on proper pH testing. Deep soil incorporation is safer than surface sprinkling. If feeding active plants, make a diluted ash extract, ash tea. Use ash as a pest deterrent only lightly and sparingly to avoid leaf burn. If you want a thriving, productive garden, the common denominator is always careful observation, testing, and precision. Wood ash can be part of that, but only when used intentionally and correctly. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more straight talk gardening advice, and tell me in the comments, are you still using wood ash, or have you switched to modern testing and targeted fertilizers? I want to hear your experiences, successes, and any disasters you've learned from. See you next time.